Now, one of the members of Julian Assange's legal team has been quoted by the Reuters news agency saying that he and his client are in the process of arranging to meet British police.
For more, Jennifer Robinson is one of Mr Assange's lawyers. She joins us now from London. Jennifer Robinson, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
Can you tell us what is actually happening? Is that meeting between Julian Assange and British police being arranged?
I can confirm that today we have received communication from the police that a European arrest warrant has been communicated and validated here by the UK authorities. We were contacted after close of business this afternoon and are now making arrangements with police for a meeting.
When will that meeting happen?
I'm not in a position to be able to confirm when that meeting will take place precisely, but I can tell you that we are in negotiations at present.
Where is Julian Assange at the moment?
I can't disclose his whereabouts, but he certainly can be contacted through us, and as I explained, we are making those. We are having that communication with the police at present.
What is Julian Assange's response to those rape allegations levelled by Swedish authorities?
He vehemently denies the allegations, and as we have maintained the entire time, and as demonstrated by his numerous voluntary offers for cooperation with Swedish prosecuting authorities, he is very keen to clear his name. He has offered, he stayed in Sweden for more than 40 days to answer her allegations. He offered himself voluntarily for interview both in Sweden and subsequently. He sought the specific permission of the prosecutor to leave Sweden and got that permission. And since being outside of Sweden, we have offered a number of forms of cooperation. All of those have been refused. Now, instead of even seeking a formal summons for his interrogation, she has gone direct for an arrest warrant. So we absolutely think that it's disproportionate and that, we don't even have the full evidence. Mr Assange still has not seen the full allegations against him or the potential charges he faces in a language which he understands, which is English, and this is in clear breach of his human rights under the European Convention of Human Rights.
So you haven't seen the arrest warrant, the details of the warrant yet?
Absolutely not. We have been seeking on his behalf copies of the European arrest warrant. We know that there was an earlier arrest warrant that was communicated to the British authorities by the Swedish, and it was rejected on the grounds of an administrative error. We are still seeking confirmation of that error. Even today, now we know that an arrest warrant has been communicated and has been validated by the UK authorities, we have been denied access to that arrest warrant. So obviously we're seeking urgent access to that and are in communication with the authorities.
Just to make it clear, Julian Assange is insisting he is not guilty of those allegations of rape levelled by the Swedish authorities.
Absolutely not. He vehemently denies the allegations, and as we have suggested all along and put strongly, the facts do not meet that charge, and this was a point that was agreed by the Court of Appeal in Sweden when they knocked out the high rape charge. So he vehemently denies them, and we are very confident that we'll get shot of these allegations. It's just a shame that the prosecutor hasn't taken him up on his voluntary offers for cooperation and has sought such a disproportionate measure in the arrest warrant.
If Julian Assange is arrested following that meeting with British police, what are his options then?
We will fight extradition.
You'd be launching an appeal?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you'd expect that to take some months?
It's unclear how long it can take. It can take up to several months.
As an Australian citizen, is Julian Assange, given what's about to happen, seeking any consular assistance from, say, the Australian Embassy in London?
As yet, we haven't been provided any consular assistance, and it has been one of our complaints that he was not provided consular assistance in Sweden. And certainly, as an Australian living abroad myself, I think all Australians ought to be concerned that the Australian government hasn't been more supportive of him and has been very quick to accuse rather than support.
And one of your colleagues is saying that you're even considering launching defamation action against the Prime Minister, Julia Gillard, for some of the comments she's made about Julian Assange. Is that a realistic option?
Well, her comments were made outside of Parliament, so they're certainly not privileged, and I think that it was misguided to suggest that he had committed a crime in England, and indeed defamatory, though I think that Prime Minister Gillard's account will probably come at the ballot box.
So you won't be seeking that threatened action then?
It's not something that we are considering seriously. There are more urgent matters at hand.
Why isn't what Julian Assange has done in leaking all of these cables, all of these private conversations, why isn't it not putting lives at risk and endangering national security as many in the US and Australia have claimed?
Well, as is clear from the correspondence with the State Department, WikiLeaks has been spending significant resources in redacting the documents and ensuring that nobody is put at risk, and at least doing their very best to eliminate the risk. In response to the concerns that US State Department had, Mr Assange wrote to the State Department asking for confidential information and specific instances of concern, and WikiLeaks were prepared to act on those. The State Department refused that cooperation and instead took a very combative approach. Now, WikiLeaks has been spending, as I said, a significant amount of resources together with their media partners in ensuring that they eliminate risk to life.
And finally,
there is obviously immense public interest in the disclosure of these documents.
And finally, Jennifer Robinson, what is your client's state of mind at the moment as this meeting nears with British police?
I'm not in a position to comment on the state of mind of my client, but certainly he is very keen to clear his name of these very damaging allegations.
Jennifer Robinson from London, thanks very much for your time this morning.